Hard work versus smart work. Sometimes, the mountain you climb isn't meant to test your strength, but your wisdom. The world praises effort, but forgets to ask, effort in which direction? This is a story not just about two students, but about two paths, one paved with sweat, the other with strategy. In a quiet village nestled between misty hills, there stood an old school, weathered by time, yet alive with the echoes of learning. At the heart of this school was Shrimand Babu, a revered teacher nearing the age of 70. Though his hair had turned silver and his steps had slowed, his dedication burned brighter than ever. He taught not only from books, but from the deep well of life's wisdom. Among his many students were two boys, Robbie and Sujan, both brilliant, both full of potential, but as different as the sun and moon. Robbie was tireless. He woke up with the sun, buried himself in books, and believed with unshakable certainty that hard work was the sole key to success. His belief was pure, unbending. The more one struggles, the more one deserves. Sujan, on the other hand, was quiet, thoughtful. He studied just as hard, but he asked questions. Robbie never did. He believed that while hard work was essential, effort without direction could become a burden. He searched for patterns, for meaning, for smarter ways. But beyond their beliefs, their lives were shaped by circumstance. Robbie came from a middle-class family where his only responsibility was to study. Sujan's reality was far harsher. The son of a poor farmer, he toiled in the fields during the day, dirt on his hands and hunger in his stomach. Each night, after hours of labor under the blazing sun, Sujan would return home with sore limbs and heavy eyes. By the flickering light of a kerosene lamp, he would open his worn-out books. One evening, his father, hardened by years of disappointment, saw him studying and spoke with frustration. "Why are you wasting time with those books? We're poor, Sujan. No education will change that." Sujan looked up, tears welled in his eyes, but his voice remained steady. "Father, that's exactly why I must study. If I don't change our path, who will?" His father sighed, not out of anger, but from a place of broken hope. "Education is for the rich. How will I ever afford it for you?" Sujan whispered, "I'm not studying for money. I'm studying to break the chain, so that maybe, one day, our children won't have to choose between food and dreams." That night, while the village slept, Sujan stayed awake, wiping tears, turning pages. His body was weary, but his spirit was unstoppable. He had little time, but dreams too big to ignore. Days passed. Then one morning Shrimand Babu gathered both boys and said, "Your final test awaits. To pass, you must climb the mountain beyond the village and bring me a rare flower that only blooms at its peak. The one who returns first with the flower shall be declared the winner." At dawn, Robbie raced toward the mountain, heart pounding, determination blazing. The sun scorched his back, the steep slopes punished his every step, yet he pressed on, believing every drop of sweat brought him closer to greatness. Sujan, too, set out, but paused at the base. He looked up, then around, and approached an old shepherd resting beneath a tree. "Is there a better way to the top?" Sujan asked. The old man smiled gently. "Behind the mountain lies a narrow trail. It's longer, but easier on the legs. Fewer rocks, less heat, fewer falls." Sujan thanked him and took the path less punishing. He climbed steadily, saving energy, avoiding the pitfalls. He knew time mattered, but so did clarity. Meanwhile, Robbie was locked in a battle against the mountain. His muscles trembled, his breath was short, but he pushed harder, driven by pride and purpose. Hours later, Robbie reached the summit, only to find Sujan already descending, flower in hand. Stunned, Robbie gasped, "How is this possible? I gave everything I had." When both students returned, Shrimand Babu listened in silence as they shared their journeys. Then he said, "Robbie, your effort is admirable, but you believed pain was the only path to victory. You never looked for alternatives. You thought that more struggle equals more success. But life is not a punishment, it's a puzzle." Turning to Sujun, he added, "You used your mind wisely, but remember, not every shortcut leads to the right place. Intelligence, without integrity and effort, becomes manipulation." The two boys nodded, humbled. That day, a lesson far greater than the flower bloomed in their hearts. Robbie became a renowned scientist, sharp, resilient, balanced. He learned to question methods, not just trust momentum. Sujan grew into a successful entrepreneur, combining his father's grit with newfound insight. He rose, not only for himself, but for the community that once doubted him. One day, both men returned to their old school. Shrimand Babu, now frail and grey, greeted them with a quiet smile. "Guruji," they said together, "your final test shaped our lives." Tears welled in the teacher's eyes. "The secret to success," he whispered, "was never hidden. It was always in the balance between hard work and smart work, between the fire of action and the light of wisdom." Moral of the story: hard work without direction is a storm without wind. Smart work without effort is a dream without roots. But when wisdom and diligence walk hand in hand, that is where true success is born. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. More timeless lessons await, and every story has the power to change a life. Maybe even yours. Stay wise, stay inspired, stay with us.